to Sea Turtle Inc. We are all here virtually. So we're doing today one of our Facebook Live series. If you have missed other parts of our series, they're all on our page, so you can actually go back on our Sea Turtle Inc. Facebook page and watch all of our live videos. We've been doing them every other day, so we have a lot of great content that you can access right here on our page. We've also posted a bunch of activities and crafts to our website, seaturtleinc.org. So if you're looking for a craft or a sea turtle related activity to do, we've got a bunch of resources on our website. My name is Rachel. I am an environmental educator here at Sea Turtle Inc. Sea Turtle Inc. is a nonprofit organization and sea turtle hospital in South Padre Island, Texas. We focus on education, rehabilitation, and conservation of sea turtles. Today's video will be a feeding, so we will be giving our patients an afternoon snack. They'll be getting veggies, so they like to eat cucumber, zucchini, and bell pepper. So they'll be getting a variety of veggies today. It's not their primary source of their diet. We actually feed them seafood every single morning. And only our Atlantic green sea turtle patients will be getting these veggies. Our other turtles, we have Kemp's Ridley sea turtles currently. They don't like eating veggies because out in the wild, they primarily feed on crabs. So we will be feeding just our Atlantic green sea turtles, as out in the wild, they like eating things like algae and seagrass. So you'll see me drop this food into the tank. I'll be feeding it kind of just spread out, right? So we have multiple turtles in the tanks, but they all do a good job of kind of keeping separate from each other and munching on their veggies. We calculate their diet based on their weight. So we give them about 1 to 2% of their body weight in food every single day. So I'll show you one of our bins here. You can see it has the tank number and then how many grams. So we calculate it based on each patient's weight and then we add it all together. Our staff actually prepares their food every single day. So currently our rehab staff is working on tomorrow's food prep, so they're cutting up their seafood and veggies for them to eat tomorrow. I'll be feeding 4 of our tanks today. One of them is a solo turtle, so it's Tilly, which is one of our patients that we featured in a patient spotlight a couple days ago. She's our boat strike turtle. She's also our largest sea turtle in the hospital, so she's alone in her tank. The other 3 tanks have multiple turtles in them. The tank I'm standing in front of right now actually has 5 turtles in it. They're all ready to eat, so I'm gonna go ahead and feed them. If you have any questions along the way, please type them into the comment box. I'll be letting you watch the turtles, so you won't be seeing my face, but I'll be right here to answer any questions. I'd also love to know where you're tuning in from. We ask it every time. It's really interesting to see all the different places in the world and the country that our viewers are tuning in from. So thank you again. We'll go ahead and get started with the feeding. So we have 5 turtles in this tank. They all stranded for a variety of different reasons. They're kind of behind the glare right now, but as soon as they drop their veggies in, they'll start moving this way. So you can see them. There's 3 of them. We have Buddy, Crash, El Tigre, Surrectus, and Messi. So I see my family's tuning in from York, Pennsylvania. Somebody from Arizona, Florida. Someone asked how much longer until Tilly gets released. We're thinking in the next couple of weeks. She's just about ready for that release, so we're gonna schedule it very, very soon. How much does y'all's biggest turtle weigh? Tilly weighs around 50 pounds. We've also got some viewers from Victoria, Texas, Oklahoma. So you can see there's a variety of different veggies in here. We've got some zucchini, some bell pepper you can see back there, as well as from some cucumber. Now this tank does have a circulating current, so right now it's a little bit difficult to see some of them, but once the veggies float around in a full circle, you'll be able to see some of the patients again. We've also got some people from Kansas, San Antonio. Someone asked where Crush is. We don't have a patient named Crush, but we do have a patient named Crash. Someone else asked if they have a favorite veggie. Some of them do get a little bit picky. So Tilly, which you'll see, she's the largest patient we have in just a second. Sometimes she gets a little bit picky and won't eat the cucumber we offer her, but other days she enjoys it. So yes, they can get a little bit picky. This is Messi right here. So Messi, you can see, has got some injuries to the back of his shell. He was stuck in the rocks at the jetties and has actually been here since October of last year. So those wounds are taking quite a long time to heal, but he's actually also almost ready for release. Have we tried feeding them cabbage? We haven't tried cabbage. We have tried other greens. So sometimes we give them kale and other forms of lettuce, but they can actually get a little bit picky there too. So sometimes they won't eat the kale. We tried kale a few months ago and some of them enjoyed it, but some of them would not eat it. So this is Crash right here, and over there we have El Tigre. They're getting a little bit closer. You can see El Tigre also has some injuries to his shell. We actually took him out for treatment this week. What the rehab staff does is they will actually debride that injury. So they'll take away the dead tissue, they'll clean it up, and they'll put ointments on it. We have a variety of different ointments that we use to help the healing process. I see someone's tuning in with their daughters, Ava and Isla, named after Isla Letcher. That's wonderful. How did Crash get his name? So all our patients are named by the person who found them. So whoever found the turtle gets to name it. Sometimes they're found by our staff members, volunteers. A lot of the times though, it's members of the public. So they're here hanging out at the beach or visitors, and they'll find a stranded turtle. All right, so you can see the veggies have kind of circled back. So now you'll be able to see them a little bit closer. Here's El Tigre. You can see they have these gorgeous shells. So these are, again, as I said earlier, all Atlantic green sea turtles. Their shell color and pattern all varies. So each one is slightly unique. We can identify them by that shell, but to make it easier when we take them out for treatment, we will sometimes write their name on their shell. So you can see El Tigre's has faded a little bit. We can actually identify him by his injury, so he's pretty easy to spot. But since they swim so quickly, when we're trying to get them out for treatment, we will write the name on the shell just to help us identify them a little bit quicker. Someone asked how long it usually takes for them to heal. It really depends on the patient and their types of injuries, right? So a patient could come in with an entanglement and be here for 3 or 4 months, or sometimes even 6 months. We have patients that have stayed here for over a year. It really just depends on the type of injury and the patient themselves. This is Crash. You can see he's got a gorgeous, really dark shell. So he definitely stands out in this tank. Pretty easy for us to identify. Here's El Tigre. And then we got the other turtles there in the back. So I'm actually going to move to a different tank now. We've got some more turtles to feed. So I'm going to move to this tank right here. You can see our turtles are ready for their snack. So we got some smaller turtles in this tank. Some of our newer patients. This is Astrid. We have Daybreak and Voodoo. And at the bottom there, we have Milo, which you might have seen Milo in one of our previous Facebook Lives. He was being kept in very shallow water because he could not lift his head to take a breath. And what we've been doing is we've been giving Milo some tank time every single day to see how he does. And he seems to be recovering well. He's more energetic. He's swimming very well. So we're really, really excited. So we've been giving him a few hours in this tank with the other turtles every single day. So here are their veggies. As you can see, we've got cucumber, zucchini, and bell pepper for these guys. How do we decide which tank to put them in? So we will pair them usually based on their size, right? So the smaller turtles with other smaller turtles. The larger turtles we will usually put in a tank alone. If any of them are showing any kind of aggressive behavior, we will isolate them or move them to a different tank, just because we don't want them being aggressive towards the other patients. They are here recovering and healing, so we want to make sure that process is safe and that they're not being bit at by other turtles, right? So they never bite each other too hard, just little nips, and some of them are definitely a little bit more aggressive than others. And someone asked if Milo was better. Yes, he's doing a lot better. You can see him down there in the tank. He's swimming really well. When he first came in, he couldn't really swim in the tank at all. He really struggled to kind of maintain balance and swim successfully. So we're really excited that he's improving each day. Do we ever feed them fruit or just veggies? We just give them veggies just because out in the wild, it's similar to the seagrasses and algae that they would eat. So Astrid, Daybreak, and Voodoo all washed up on our beach in very similar conditions. So they were turtles that we could not really tell exactly what was wrong. They were debilitated, they were not energetic, they all had low blood glucose, but they actually all washed up in the same week, which is kind of strange. So they're here, they're getting a lot more energetic, we're feeding them plenty of food, so they're getting better and stronger each day. Do we have them separated by male versus female? We do not. We cannot actually tell if they're male or female at this age. We can only tell once they're adults. At that stage, we can identify it by the length of their tail. So if they have a long tail, they're a male. If they have a short tail, they're a female. Here's Astrid finishing up some of the veggies. I'm gonna move over here now to our other tank, the one in this far corner. This also has quite a few turtles in it. It also has one of our newest patients who's floating right here, which is Monday Blues. So he's the newest patient to the hospital. He just came in. You can see he's got a really gorgeous dark shell. He's also in Atlantic green sea turtles, like all the other turtles you've seen today. So I'm gonna drop their veggies in. Monday Blues actually just started eating today. So this morning he ate some of the seafood we offered him, which is great. So in here we have Curious George, we have Coda, and we have Dreamweaver. Someone asked how we know when a turtle is in trouble and needs help. So if a turtle strands on the beach, it is always for a reason. There are very few places in the world where turtles come up on the beach to bask, right? So if you visited Hawaii, on some of the islands, turtles will actually come up to bask and take in the sun, but South Padre is not one of those places. So if you see a turtle stranded out on the beach, it means something is wrong. Even if you cannot identify that issue, we'll be able to identify what's wrong with that patient with our intake protocol and our tests, right? So we can test their blood, we can take x-rays, and then we can identify what is wrong. Or if you see a sea turtle out on the beach, it looks healthy and it's moving around really well, it could be nesting. And if a turtle is nesting on South Padre, we also deal with that, so we'd love to know. So you can always give us a call no matter what, because if a turtle is out on the beach, it's always for a reason, and we cover nesting and injured turtles. So Sea Turtle Inc. does it all. So you can really see here the difference in their shell pattern and coloration. We've got some drastically looking shells here, different looking shells, excuse me. So this is Dreamweaver. You can see how beautiful his shell is. He's got some orange in there, and he's a little bit more round. Monday Blues down there is very dark. And Curious George and Coda in the back there have a little bit of a lighter shell. Curious George has some really interesting coloration on his shell that you can see a little bit. He's the one right over there. if you have any other questions, please type it into the comment box. I'll continue answering them as we feed them. And at the end of the video, if you think of any questions, please comment them below. I'll be looking at all the comments after I wrap up the video so I can answer them. Even later this evening, I can answer them. So if you share this video and your friends or family have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them later. Is Coda named after the racetrack in Austin? No, Coda was named by his founder, but it's spelled K-O-D-A. Someone asked if they're playing in the current. So yeah, the current is actually great because it allows them to swim and build up those flipper muscles. So we really like having this current in the tank as it encourages our turtles to swim. And it replicates also more of their natural environment because out in the wild, they'd be fighting currents, they'd be fighting waves. So it's a little bit more of a natural environment for them. Someone asked how you can donate. You can actually donate directly on this video. You can also go to our website, seaturtleinc.org, and donate that way. We have adoptions, so you can adopt a patient, any of the patients you've seen here today. You can also do resident adoptions or hatchling adoptions. Someone asked who's the oldest turtle we have right now. I can actually show you right now because we're about to drop the veggies into this tank. So this is Santo Tilly in this tank. She's our largest patient that we have. We can only estimate their age, so we think she's about 8 to 10 years old. Now sometimes she's resting or napping at the bottom of her tank, so she doesn't always go after her veggies immediately, but she usually will eat them in the next couple minutes or so. But you can see, if you tuned in to our patient spotlight, this is our boat strike patient. So you can see that the top part of her shell is kind of perked up due to those buoyancy issues because air gets trapped into their shell when they're struck by boats because there's a hole into their shell. Someone asked how we retrieve the lettuce stick. So we're actually able to use one of our nets to grab them directly. Someone asked if it's hard to find food with the pandemic. So luckily, we have freezers that have storage of seafood. So we're really lucky that we have kind of a backup of all of our seafood. And we have been able to get all these veggies for our turtles as well. So we've been very lucky. Our turtles are all very well fed. Our rehab staff does a great job of looking after our animals. So it looks like Tilly's still going to continue with her nap. So I'll take you over to this tank right over here so we can kind of finish up the video as they're finishing up their veggies. So there's Monday Blues and Coda in the back. And then now you can see Curious George a little bit better. And there is Dreamweaver. And here is Coda. So with that, I'll wrap up the video. Again, if you have any questions, please type them into the comments below. I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. It means so much to have your support for our organization, and we love doing these videos because we love sharing what we do here at Sea Turtle Inc. We're very passionate about rehabilitating and our conservation programs regarding sea turtles. So thank you so much for tuning in. We do these lives every 2 days, so our next one will be in 2 days. Feel free to check in. If you can't join us for the live, we'll always post our videos. We've been posting them on our Instagram as well as our Facebook. Those are all Sea Turtle Inc. Thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.